Hellboy the Crooked Man is finally here to watch. So today let's talk about this newest entry in the Hellboy franchise. Hey everybody, my name is Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. Hellboy and a rookie agent find themselves stranded in 1950s Appalachia. They soon discover a community of witches led by a local devil who has a connection to Hellboy's past. Hellboy the Crooked Man is a straight-to-digital film, has a much lower budget than the previous entries. It stars Jack Kesy. This is a very odd film that is more darker in nature compared to the previous entries. And it is a film that just throws you into the middle of a plot. There's no beginning of this movie. And Hellboy doesn't even feel like he is the main character of his own movie. You don't have a strong setup for this community of witches, this local devil, the Crooked Man. You are thrown into the middle of an already ongoing storyline. There's no sense of origin for Hellboy within this film. They have some brief discussion as this local devil is connected to Hellboy's past, but we are thrown into everything. We have already like this established character, this established relationship with this rookie agent, and we don't have a lot of time to adjust to all of that. And so by doing that, the pacing for this film does feel very quick, a little bit jarring in the beginning as you don't have much time to adjust yourself to the viewing of this new Hellboy and the new environment, the 1950s, the more darker tone to it all. You just get tossed into it. And it's very interesting the way that they did plan that. You could have spent more time having this origin story for him, dedicated to all of that, but they wanted to focus more on this story of the Crooked Man. And we have a character named Tom Farrell who feels more in line like the main character of our story. This rookie agent and Hellboy ended up meeting him. They tag along with him and his journey, and there we get understanding of him as a person and what he's going through and his ties to this local community and this devil. And so at times it feels like he is that main character. And by doing that, you don't get a full understanding of Jack Kesy as Hellboy. You can't really compare him too much to David Harbour or Ron Perlman because he doesn't have that chance to shine. It's not his fault, it's the script's fault in allowing another character to be the main character of a Hellboy film. And so you do get like this sense that Jack Kesy is pretty good as Hellboy. Some of the mannerisms, some of the witty dialogue, some of the roughness to that character is there, but it's just kind of thin. Like we don't have too much development or too much focus on that character to where I could sit down and create this list of, okay, well, Jack Kesy is as good as David Harbour, or he's as good as Ron Perlman in this category. I can't do that because of how limited Jack Kesy is as Hellboy within this movie. The makeup does look good. I like how natural it looks for Hellboy. Like I said, with much of a lower budget, but it looks better than David Harbour. And I like David Harbour's look as Hellboy, but this feels like more in line with Ron Perlman. The makeup's there, the arm looks great, the tail is there. It's a pretty decent costume and makeup design for this character on a much lower budget. In the CGI for our witches and all the creatures that it comes across, it does have some pretty intense action along the way. It does have some quick edits throughout, but for the most part, there is some good action in here, and it does have a much more haunting environment and atmosphere. This is a much darker story compared to the two Ron Perlman films and the David Harbour movie. The 2019 film, the storyline is much darker, it's bloodier, and it deals with much more of a darker subject. The Crooked Man, and we have the devil, and there's some really disturbing sequences within here. So I really did appreciate the more gothic, darker atmosphere for this film, as it does stand apart from those movies. The biggest problem is just this script. It doesn't have that chance to flow very naturally. It doesn't have a strong development to it. The pacing for it is very off. It doesn't allow for Hellboy to feel like that main character. You have other characters that have a more central focus, and I really didn't care much about their storylines in the first place. I wanted to see more of Hellboy. I wanted to see more of who he is. There is some brief discussion of his past and his connection to the Crooked Man, which did also feel like a pretty weak villain in the first place as well. So there's just a lot in here that I questioned when it came to the overall flow of the script and how they set it up. There could have been more setup in the beginning to establish the tone and our characters and their position with the Crooked Man and Tom Farrell. By just throwing them into the plot, you don't get like to just sit back and appreciate a newer version of Hellboy. And so with it being on a much lower budget and just thrown straight to digital, I questioned a lot of the choices made within this film. I did like it better than the David Harbour movie, as I did like the different setting, the different tone, the more gothic environment to this movie. But I wanted to see more of Jack Kesy throughout. I think he worked well as Hellboy, but I wanted to see him more throughout this movie. If you like Hellboy and you've read the graphic novels and you've seen the animated movies, I do recommend checking this out, as it is much darker and very different than the other movies. So there's something to at least appreciate for that. But it's not going to be a groundbreaking Hellboy movie, but at least it was a bit different. So before I give you my score for Hellboy the Crooked Man, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button to get it all in one spot. If you like to see where Hellboy the Crooked Man ranks amongst all the other 2024 releases I've seen this year, follow me on Letterboxd, and there you can find my ranking. I'm gonna go ahead and give Hellboy the Crooked Man a C+. Thank you guys for checking my review for Hellboy the Crooked Man. Have you guys seen it by chance? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.